Bro, why she gotta ask questions like this? Hold up. Whoa. Oh, gosh.
Okay.
I had a bad childhood, so that's a lot.
I kind of wish I never heard what people think about me, because it really changes my perspective on myself and it kind of drags my confidence down. A lot of people talk about like my weight or like how I look, and honestly, like I feel like if people kept their opinions to themselves, like that would be a lot more helpful, but people are just opinionated, I guess.
When I was 5 years old, my mom told me I was going to die. And I remember being very shocked. And I really got upset because it was the first time that I realized I was going to die.
When my doctor told me I had stage 2 lung cancer, that would probably be one of the big ones. Yeah. This was in October of last year. I'm in college, so I went to my local wellness center when I started coughing up blood, actually, and then they referred me to a doctor who then diagnosed me. And I remember walking in, and it was kind of your classic like doctor on one side, you sit on the other side, and he looks all somber, and he's like, "You have cancer," and then you're like, and so I kind of went into shock. I had taken public transportation to the doctor, so I took public transportation back, and I was just like in my seat just zoning out. And then I remember getting back, calling my boyfriend at the time, telling him the news, and just sitting there in silence. And then after that call ended, I just like burst into tears. I was like, well, what do I do now? Like, I had so many plans, and like now I don't know if I'll even be here to do them. I remember going back into my dorm and having to tell my suite mates and having to comfort them. And then going back into my own room and just trying to decide how to reprioritize my life. I think that was the hardest part. My dad had non-small cell lung cancer, and I had small cell lung cancer. So we thought maybe it might be genetics, but it wasn't connected. I don't smoke. I'm like very young, so we still don't know. My family encouraged me to drop out of school, which I refused to do because it's really important to me that I graduate in 4 years. So I stayed in school, and then I think it was like 4 or 5 months later, beat cancer, technically. Finished my semester, didn't fail any classes, which is good. And I've been in remission ever since, so hopefully I never have to hear that again. So that was around my birthday too, actually. My 20th birthday, it was like a week before. I was like, this is the best birthday present I've ever gotten. Like just being able to go back and tell people that they didn't have to worry about me anymore, at least for now. That was incredible. It was freedom. It was a lot of freedom to not be scared to pursue what I wanted to do.
My childhood best friend passed away of cancer when he was just 21 or 22, and for a very long time was very passionate about being an airline pilot, and he was like probably one of the was kind of a prodigy, so he like was able to go through like flight school really quickly, and he was known as the baby pilot because he was able to become an airline pilot so young, and he had such a baby face that people could not believe that he was already a airline pilot. But then very soon after that, he was not even diagnosed. He just was walking, I think in Dubai or Abu Dhabi on a flight trip, and he just collapsed on the floor, and it turned out that he had like a cancer that grew in his back, and it was just terminal. Actually, it has changed a little bit the way I choose my career. Now I work in, the last 2 companies I've worked in was all related with cancer. It made me realize that cancer is a very common thing, that maybe 1 of 3 people in your life will probably suffer in their lifetime. And so I work on the early cancer detection. There have been so many improvements that within our generation, I think it will be a disease that I think we could eradicate if we put the right people and the right money towards it.
Can you describe your best friend to us the best you could?
Yeah, he was just like a bubbly, happy guy, just always in a good mood and very positive. Maybe not the most extroverted, but very passionate. I feel like I found my passion maybe later in life, but he knew from the beginning that he wanted to fly planes. I think it's always amazing to see people have such conviction in what they want to do and pursue that and make it happen and never give up on their childhood dreams. Your childhood dream is like, you know, you listen less to your brain or to your mind, but you listen to your heart. And often as you get older, you listen more to your mind and rationalize yourself out of things that you know is right for you, but you just kind of lose track of that. And I think he never lost track of what his passion, of what he wanted as a kid, and did it. Although he didn't live very long, I think a life worth living is not counted in like years, right? It's more about what you do, what you become. It doesn't matter how short it is. And I think his life was worth every second of it and made it count.
I wish I would have never heard or at least read the suicide notes of a boy in my class about the way our school treated him and why he did what he did. He just said that at least like the neighborhood we lived in and the community that we lived in put too much pressure on kids to go to the right schools, to go in the same pathway, to go to college after high school, and how none of the teachers supported him and none of the adults that had authority would listen to him. But it's really caused change in my school, which is a positive result, but also I didn't really want to know that kids were going through something like that. It's kind of dark.
I wish I had never heard that my friends sometimes use me.
Racism. All my life I've like heard like about racism. I've learned about it. I've studied it. It was like kind of unique topic to me because like I never understood why other people would look at other people a certain way and try to control them just because they were a different color than they were. But like everyone's a person. Like if you have an eyes, nose, teeth, ears, a heart, then everyone should be the same. I think like everyone's equal and you're not higher than anyone else.
One thing, because we were talking about it this morning, is I wish I never heard that the devil was real, or that like even anything about the devil as a child.
I wish I never heard about how meat was made.
Damn it!
Or is made. Because I like to eat meat, but I also don't want to add to animal cruelty. But it's so good.
I wished I never heard that Santa was real, because since I was little, I got 2 things. One thing, my house doesn't have a chimney. And 2 things, how does one man know when 7 billion people are sleeping? Like, that makes no sense, and I'm a very logical person. But I don't want my little brother to be discouraged or anything, so I'm just gonna act like he's real, you know.
Rude words.
Do you have any specific ones in mind?
No, and if I had, I wouldn't say them.
You might want to get tested.
Probably that you're not college material.
Do you remember who told you that?
My grandmother. I personally think that everybody's college material, and it's just coming from like lower class. It's like hard to, you obviously I'm not gonna go to Harvard. Who goes to Harvard? Rich people, not me. She tells the same thing to my sister. She tells me like, your sister's not college material. And I'm like, you can't say that to someone because it's gonna discourage them from going to college. I'm already gonna graduate with my bachelor's debt-free, and I've traveled the world. And so anybody can do it. Like, it really discourages someone to say that. And I want to go get my PhD and I want to do all these things, but I don't know. It always kind of sticks in the back of my mind. Like, you're not college material. You're not going to get there. But like, I am.
I wish I never heard the term fake news, because I feel like the people who work so hard, go to college, they try to be so fair and balanced in their reporting. It's their life. And ever since this fake news rumor started, nobody has a belief anymore in institutions, in the news media, in their leaders. And so the whole belief system is eroded, and that's what I wish I had never heard.
We don't have enough money. I'm a teacher, and I'm from Arizona, and legislators are always saying they don't have enough money to fund our education system. And as a result, our children are going to be illiterate. The teachers don't stay more than a year, and they all go, and they have enough money. They're not using it to take care of what needs to be taken care of. They put it in the rainy day fund, but it's already raining.
I wish I hadn't heard my dad like talk about how much he cheated on my mom. I don't know, because like I saw him differently ever since then.
One thing that I've heard repeatedly that I would like to have not heard, so hopefully that counts. Something that I wouldn't have liked to hear is anytime my dad kind of yells at my mom in like a negative way, or if she makes like a mistake, or if she slips up anywhere even though she's just trying to do the right thing, my dad kind of gets angry at her. So I think anytime that's happened, I would have enjoyed not have being part of that. I feel like a terrible bystander just watching something bad happen. Like, I love my mom, I love my dad. My dad isn't a bad person by any means, he's actually a great person, so is my mom. She just has good intentions, and sometimes the execution doesn't work out well, which is just unfortunate. And I think we all have that sort of empathy where if you see someone trying really hard but they don't quite, achieve whatever it is that they're trying to do, that you just feel bad for them, because you tell everyone, oh, if you try, as long as you're trying, everything's fine. But there's obviously incidents where you're trying and things don't work out, and that really sucks, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Like,